back with another video. So basically it's true. I've been leasing with Schneider for 11 months. I got exactly 1 month left on my lease with Schneider, SFI. And right now I'm in Iowa. I'm headed to Cedar Rapids, Iowa. So basically, this is just a quick rundown. This is just a part one, just a quick rundown of my lease with Schneider so far. I know people got a lot of questions. I know I had a lot of questions when I started out, when I was thinking about leasing on with Schneider. So my biggest question was, can you make money? And I know taking on that responsibility of leasing on with Schneider, with SFI, the biggest benefit that I found is you can pretty much get in a decent truck for pretty much no money down. If any money down, is going to be a little money down. I didn't pay any money down when I started my lease with Schneider. I got a 2017 Freightliner. Had inverter installed, electrical APU unit, which I mean, I don't really care about the APU unit. I mean, you can idle the truck. So just a quick list of basically what you get with the SFI truck. Okay, you don't get a governor on the truck. I'm pretty sure a lot of people know that, but just for people that's thinking about doing it who might not know, the truck, you can go fast as you want, but they recommend that you go below 80. So if you go above 80, then they will be calling you. But like in the areas where like the speed limit is 80 or 75 or whatever, you can run 75. You can run whatever you want to run. As far as the down payment, like I said, you probably won't have to pay a down payment, or to be like a little down payment. Probably $1,000 or $2,000 or less if you have to pay anything. But the biggest benefit is you can get in a truck with pretty much no owner-operator experience and pretty much no money down. All you have to have is like a year of over-the-road experience or truck driving experience, a valid CDL. So I mean, it's a good program. And like I said, my biggest question was, can you make money? Because I've heard of the other owner-operator companies like Trans Am and JB Hunt lease program, and all the other bigger company lease programs, and the smaller ones where you go get a truck and you lease on to these smaller companies in like Memphis or Dallas or whatever, where they probably have 15, 20 trucks or 100 trucks at the most. And a lot of guys complain about not getting paid on time. A lot of guys complain about getting loaded and unloaded everywhere you go. A lot of guys complain about waiting on load shortage with the smaller companies. So I was like, well, why not go to Schneider? I actually worked for Schneider for close to a year before I came back to Schneider to do the lease. And when I got a bunch of flies in my truck, man. Iowa, thanks a lot, Iowa. All these flies in my truck. That's like the worst thing for a truck driver, man. To be driving down the road, you in your zone, and you got flies in your truck. You're trying to let the window down and suck the flies out. That's like the biggest annoyance. The biggest annoyance for me is flies, and the second biggest annoyance is four-wheelers. People that can't drive, people that can't pick a speed. But that was off topic. Back to the topic at hand. Can you make money? Yeah, you can make money with Schneider. You can make money with SFI. You're gonna have to make a lot of gross. You're gonna have to work. Like it isn't easy money. That's why I always tell people that's thinking about doing the lease on with Schneider, you gotta separate it. You gotta separate leasing on to Schneider and the SFI lease. because they're two separate things. You don't have to get an SFI truck to lease on with Schneider. That's number one. And you can get a truck through SFI and lease on to whoever you want. That's number two. So you have to separate the two. But it's just common sense that most people are going to lease on with Schneider if they get an SFI truck. But if you get fired from Schneider, then you can go anywhere. You can take an SFI truck anywhere you want, or you can go get an SFI truck and go wherever you want from the jump. Like, you don't have to start out with Schneider. That's a common question. When you lease that truck from SFI, it's just like going to the dealership and getting a truck. That's a completely separate dealing outside of Schneider. Now, leasing on with Schneider makes the process easier and more comfortable because you can go get your truck from SFI and walk right next door and go to orientation, instead of getting your truck from SFI and then taking it somewhere else and having to go through all the extra stuff that comes with getting the truck, insurance, have to go through all the etc. stuff with the company outside of Schneider. So it's just a convenience factor to get a SFI truck and then lease on with Schneider. But like I said, you can make money getting an SFI truck and leasing on with Schneider. But I can only go off of my experience with my truck. My truck is a 2017. I got it in 2018, so it was fairly new. It had 214,000 miles on it when I got it. So it was fairly new. Didn't really have any major problems, didn't really have any major issues. Brand new tires on all the way around. Now, this is another thing. A lot of people don't like recaps. If you get an SFI truck, 9 times out of 10 it's gonna have new tires, but the front ones are probably gonna be virgin rubber, and the back ones, the rear drive tires, are probably gonna be recaps. So that's another thing to think about. I know a lot of guys that just go get an SFI truck and ride on the recaps, and then they just go buy them brand new virgin tires once they get situated. I mean, that's an option too. And I know some guys that go in it with that extra money on hand, and they go get the truck and they go straight to the nearest shop and they put virgin tires all the way around. So some people like certain brands, some people go in it with that mentality, which isn't a bad mentality. But the way I look at it is, you're driving trucks, a tire is a tire. Yeah, some tires are better. Yeah, recaps suck, but at the end of the day, you can go buy brand new tires and go out there and do a 1,000-mile run and then have a blowout. Just something in the road, just etc. It's just a part of trucking, man. Blowouts is a part of trucking. And even if your truck is bulletproof, Schneider's trailers, they might not be bulletproof. You can go out there and have a blowout on the trailer. You know what I'm saying? You can go out there and blow an airbag on the trailer. You can pick up a trailer, got a hole in it or whatever. Pick up a trailer that got an air leak. So that's just my standpoint on the tires. I mean, some people don't care. Some people just want to get their own truck and they don't have the means to go pay $10,000, $15,000 down at a dealership. So they go to SFI, get a truck, start out with Schneider, work for Schneider till they pay their truck off, and then boom, they go do what they want to do. But just from leasing on with Schneider for 11 months, I could tell you right now, probably the number one reason people leave Schneider or leave their SFI truck is because they don't do it long enough. If you don't do it long enough and you don't get in a groove and you don't start understanding how Schneider works and how the SFI lease works and how picking your own loads work, you're not going to get the full experience. It's like a learn as you go type thing. Like, the longer you do it, the more money you make. So when you go out here and get your truck, don't expect to make a lot of money the first 2-3 months. It's just a learning curve. You just got to learn how to make money. You got to learn where you live, learn your niches, learn where you can get a load back home, etc. Depending on how often you go home, depending on where you operate out of or the places you like to visit. So first point was, can you make money? I can tell you right now, yes, you can make money. You can make even more money if you do have the means to go get a truck at a dealership or on your own, and you can bring it to Schneider. That would be the ideal scenario for this Schneider Lease program. If you can go get a truck and get you a note per month instead of per week for $1,500 or less a month, insurance probably $300-400 a month, you'll be in a good position with this Schneider Lease. You can definitely make some good money. I see some guys out here that's making some good money. I've had good weeks. I've had decent months. But it just all depends on your scenario. Now, the second point is, why do you want to lease? Why do whoever's watching this video or whoever's thinking about doing it, why do you want to lease? Is it for the money or is it for the freedom? Because when I did it, I only had 2 points. It was either going to be I wanted to lease for the money, because that's the first thing they're going to throw at you is, if you lease, you can make more money than a company driver. So do you want to lease for the money or do you want to lease for the freedom? With the Schneider SFI lease, I can tell you right now, you get a lot of freedom. That's the biggest plus to me is the freedom. It's not the money, because I mean, the amount of money you make with the Schneider Lease, you can probably make leasing on to anybody else, or a decent company, not like the sucker companies like Trans Am or something like that, or the guys that's just getting their feet wet in the leasing, but probably like a more legit company like Landstar or something like that that's known for leasing. You could probably make the same money with them as you make for Schneider. So you're not gonna make more money with Schneider than you would at a decent leasing company, but you'll make decent money. But the amount of money you can make as a company driver. I'm gonna put it like that. So if you're a company driver and you're making $1,500-1,600 a week, and a lot of people are gonna say, "Oh, where's the company drivers making $1,500-1,600 a week?" It's possible. I've made $1,500-1,600 a week as a company driver after taxes. So it's definitely guys out here making it. It's definitely possible. I know guys that's making $2,000 a week. That's bringing home $2,000 a week out here as a company driver. No responsibilities, no truck note, no payment, no insurance. So it's possible. If you're one of those guys, then stay away. But if you're not in it for the money and you're looking for freedom, this would be an ideal situation. You get plenty of freedom. You get to pick your loads. You get to go where you want. You get to do what you want. You get to work when you want to work. It's just an all around. I've had a pretty decent experience. I mean, with any trucking company, you're gonna have a love-hate relationship. So I've had my hate parts and I've had my love parts, but overall, it's been a decent experience. But like I said, if you're looking for freedom, this would be a good choice. And you might say, well, you got freedom at Landstar, or you can make the same money at Landstar. Well, the thing about Landstar is I've talked to a couple Landstar drivers, talked to a lot of guys at Landstar that have been thinking about coming to Schneider or going to JB Hunt or whatever. And the biggest problem I've heard from Landstar drivers is a lack of loads, or a lack of loads that they want to take. Like not an actual lack of like loads, like they get loads, but like a lack of loads that they would prefer to take, and probably a lack of home time, and probably a lack of trailers. They have to get loaded and unloaded a lot. Sometimes they have to deadhead a lot of miles. But with Schneider, you have a choice. You can choose, hey, do I want to deadhead 100 miles to get this load, or do I want to deadhead 15 miles up the road and get this load that might not be going where I want to go, but it's a good load and I don't have to? Or do I want to deadhead 100 miles to drop and hook, or do I want to deadhead 15 miles to get live loaded? Stuff like that. So it's not perfect. I'm not saying Schneider, I'm not saying you never have to chase it empty, or you never have to get loaded or live unloaded, or you never have to deadhead, but it's a good system, and it's a better system than some of the companies I've seen since I've been out on the road, and some of the guys I've talked to. It's a pretty decent program, pretty nice program. The guys out here making the most money with the Schneider Lease program, not the SFI, because you have to separate them. But the most guys that are making the most money out here with the Schneider Lease, leasing on the Schneider, are the guys that's coming in with their own trucks, or the guys like me that have leased on with Schneider with a SFI truck and got smart and said, hey, you know what? I'm going to get an SFI truck back, and I'm going to go to the dealership and get me a $1,500 note or a $1,000 note a month, and then I'm going to come back to Schneider and lease on the Schneider. And instead of me paying $1,200 a week out of my paycheck going towards the truck, insurance note, or whatever, I could be paying $1,000 a month or $1,500 a month or $1,700 a month for everything all in one whop. So like I said, it's all about preference. It's all about what you're looking for. And just, I'm trying to think. I mean, this is just a part one. Like I said, I still got a month left on my lease. I'm gonna try to do videos into the very end of my lease, so I can answer some questions as far as like the money maintenance refund and the stuff that they charge me for. And will I actually get my money back at the end of my lease? Because I plan on fulfilling my whole lease. So I'm hoping to get my money back, and I want to do a video for the rest of the month. Like I got 4 weeks left, and I plan on doing a video at least every other day or every week, just to walk you guys through the end and go over stuff that I missed in this part one. So it's gonna be plenty more parts and more questions, for sure. If you guys got questions, comment below, message me, and I definitely answer them. I definitely do a video to answer them, because I'm trying to answer like the questions that I had when I first started out, and I know people got different questions now. Oh, and another thing with Schneider. With Schneider, you get a lot of terminals. They got a terminal in all the major cities, so that's a plus. Relays. They got a lot of relays in all the major cities, so that's another plus. I do a lot of relays. Yeah, let me check on that, on like the loads that I do and how I operate. So pretty much, I do a lot of relays. Relays to me are the best loads, because it's a relay, for people that don't know, is basically a load that another driver picked up and couldn't deliver, or a load that a local driver picked up and brought to the yard or the terminal or the OC. And those are the easiest loads to get, because you're just going to the OC. You don't really have a time limit on picking it up. You don't have to worry about getting loaded. You don't have to worry about having an empty trailer to take to the terminal or the yard, and paperwork's in the trailer. And I grab a bunch of relays. As far as my schedule, I leave out like the middle of the week, probably Wednesday, Thursday, and then I work until Monday, and then I come home. So it just depends. Some weeks I come home on the weekend. If it's like a holiday, I'll take a loss and I'll be at the house on the weekend. But like if it's just a regular week and nothing's going on, no birthdays, no parties, like birthday parties or family events, I just work during the weekend. I find it easier. I personally find it easier with the Schneider Lease program to work during the weekend. That's just me though. I don't mind working the weekend. But yeah, like I said, I got 4 weeks left on my lease. This is part one of my lease with Schneider. Like I said, comment below, like, subscribe. Let me know what kind of questions you guys got. I'll be more than willing to upload videos when I stop or shut down or got a break in between loads or I'm at home. Like I said, like, subscribe, comment, let me know what you guys need. Thanks for watching.